are going to look at how to design a search string for your review. Okay, so identifying relevant studies. So for the step of identifying relevant studies, there are no differences between systematic review and scoping review in this approach. So most of the time, we'll be doing a comprehensive literature search using electronic databases and also reference list of relevant article. Meaning that if you have decided to include certain article, you'll go through the reference list to see whether you have missed out any articles or not. There's the reference list, or sometimes we call it train tracing as well. Okay. Nowadays, we no longer use hand searching for key journals because most of the journal are electronic. We don't have printed copies. We don't know where to find the printed copies as well. And also, most of the time, we are not touching gray literature as well. Okay, gray literatures are literatures that are not widely available online, that you have to get them through certain institutions or organizations or network. Okay, so usually we don't touch that as well, unless your topic is very specific. What I have seen is I've read a scoping review about the evolvement of a certain abortion drugs in Taiwan. So the Taiwanese author are reviewing the changes in the legislations about a type of abortion drug in their country. So this review doesn't touch about the clinical efficacy, doesn't touch about biomedical aspect of the abortion drug, but the use and approval, or when does Taiwanese government make it legal and illegal. So this is a very niche review that do not undergo electronic databases, but the authors search through government policy, news article, and things like that, and also white papers. So these are the references that's quite unique and not available in electronic databases. And that is when gray issues come into place. Okay. So for the many beginners writer here, you have to understand between databases and publisher website. Okay. To search, where do you search? You must find the correct place to search. Okay. Databases are a collection of journal published by various publisher and that being indexed in the databases. Many of the sites that you are familiar with, for example, PubMed, Scopus Web of Science, Cochrane Library, SINA, DOAJ, they are databases. Okay, PubMed and also DOAJ you can use at your home, that come from your home. However, to access Scopus Web of Science, Cochrane Library, SINA, I think you need the library access. Then you have to go through a library to access these databases. But PubMed and DOAJ you can do it in your house. For publisher website is a collection of journal published by a single publisher. So if you're looking at, if you search in SciDirect or Elsevier website, Sage website, Whaley, Springer Nature, Pharma Central, Hindawi, NDPI, if you search in this web platform, you can only access the article published by that particular publisher only. Okay, so the search range is very limited. So if you were to search which is a better platform? Anyone? So where do you usually search? My questions. Yeah. So usually you go to databases, you're correct. When you say databases, usually if you have to search, search through databases because they can go across multiple publisher. Another thing, if you look at the databases that are listed, there's no Google Scholar. Okay, Google Scholar is also a databases, but if possible, I recommend against the use of Google Scholar as a search tool because all the databases as listed here, when a journal want to be indexed in that particular databases, it need to undergo a filtering process, screening process, meaning that the journal has to prove its how to say its integrity. I mean, it is honest journal, it's not predatory to be indexed into these databases. However, to be indexed into Google Scholar, such requirement do not exist. Google Scholar just index everything available online. Okay, so a lot of predatory journal will be indexed in Google Scholar. What do I mean by predatory journal? Predatory journals are journals that will publish anything, you will pay a certain fee. So there are a lot of bad articles in the predatory journal. They may not be peer reviewed, and the quality of the article is actually very low for predatory journal. Okay, so I recommend against Google Scholar because there's no quality control in Google Scholar. But for other databases that listed here, they usually have very tight quality control in governing which journal will be indexed in the databases. Okay, so if you were to choose search, please use Google Scholar. What about research mapping tool? I do recognize there are some research mapping tool like, for example, what? I forgot some of the name. Research Rabbit. This one font. This one started with the name Rabbit. They, I'm not sure their indexing policy. That's what I can say. Yeah. For a journal to be included into the research mapping tool, for example, the research rabbit thing, I'm not sure about the indexing policy, or are they using the database of, for example, PubMed or Scopus, something like that. So in the, how to say, in view of the lack of transparency in terms of the database they are using, perhaps for my view, I'm not sure about the view of other research group. For my view, I think we stick to the existing databases, established databases, for example, PubMed, Scopus, and Web of Science. Okay.
Yeah, Prof, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, for a scoping review, how many databases are sufficient?
If you
Is there
look
any
at
range?
if you look at the checklist, Prisma checklist, the minimum requirements is 2 or more.
Okay.
Okay, minimum requirement by checklist 2 or more, but the more the merrier, I would say. The more the merrier.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Okay, but minimum is 2.
Great.
We usually go for 3 lah. We go for the usual 3 that we go for PubMed, Scopus, and website.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so to search, okay, to search or designing your search string, the first thing we actually have to look at is actually to define your keywords and search term. Okay, we get this by first identifying the key concept in your research question first. Okay, you have to identify the key concept of the research question that you have just put forward. After identifying the key concept, then you look for the synonyms of this key concept. The synonyms can be identified from thesaurus, or MeSH website or Google Scholar or from keyword or similar articles or from your experience searching Google or searching PubMed. If you are not familiar with MeSH, okay, MeSH is a website provided by NCBI, which index all the important keyword in medical research. So this is the MeSH website. You can go to NLM website and then go to MeSH. And then here you can just type anything that's commonly used in medical research. For example, if you type osteoporosis, osteoporosis is a term usually used in medical research. So, and you can look at some of the similar words used alongside osteoporosis. So osteoporosis, bone loss, and also other key terms related to osteoporosis. Let's say apoptosis, and these are some key concept, key term, cell death, extrinsic pathway, intrinsic pathway, programmed cell death, and other concept related to apoptosis. Okay, so this gives you some idea as well. MeSH only index medically used key term. So you type nasi lemak here, nothing, you don't get anything from nasi lemak because nasi lemak is not medical term. Okay, just a lame joke. Anyway, so after identifying your synonyms, you can also you can also brainstorm the synonyms with your supervisor who is expert in the field. Okay, and then you have to combine all these using Boolean operators and or not. These Boolean operators have to be typed in capital into the search bar. If you put a small letter and or a not, it will be ignored by the search engine. You have to type it in full capital so that you'll be recognized as a command in the search engine. So if I were to explain the Boolean operators to you, what's the meaning of and? You put A and B, we are looking at the overlapping area. Okay, you put and, then we have to look for items that contain both concepts at the same time. You put all, then we are covering A, B, C. Okay, everything. Okay, item containing either of the concept. That's all. You put not, we don't usually use not a lot in our search, but if you are putting not, then we are excluding the A not B, we are excluding the C and B and C part. Okay. If you put a bracket, then bracket means that we will consider this and process this together. Process this together. Okay. There are other more specific Boolean operators. For example, quotation mark means that I want the exact phrase. For example, quotation mark bone density. I want the exact phrase bone density, not bone mineral density, not bone something density. Okay, exact phrase bone density. Truncation, sometimes we use. We put a truncation mark at the back, P apostrophe, then it is a wildcard. You can have trape, trapeze, trapeze, or trapeze. Okay, we use this wildcard symbol a lot if we are suspecting the word come with S and no S. Okay. Other kind of Boolean operators are more specific. to the specific search engine. So in this is to go through the designing search string process step by step. As I said just now, first you have to identify key concept from the specific research questions. So for example, this is just an example. Can tocotrienol prevent the decline of bone mineral density? Okay, so the two key concept that you can identify from here is tocotrienol, first thing, and bone mineral density, second concept. Second step, you can look for synonyms of this key concept using magical keywords or previous article, thesaurus, or discussion with expert, as I said just now. So tocotrienol, the key concept, the related concept is tocotrienol can be vitamin E, can be tocopherols. There may be more, okay? Bone mineral density, it can be bone density, it can be BMD, it can be osteoporosis, for example. Okay, so these are the synonyms for tocotrienol. These are the synonyms for the second concept for bone mineral density. Then link all the synonyms with Boolean operators, or, okay, for these synonyms, replace the comma or semicolon with or. So it becomes tocotrienol or vitamin E or tocopherols. You repeat the same thing for the second concept, bone mineral density or bone density or BMD or osteoporosis. In the following step, I need you to bracket, frame each concept with a bracket. Okay. And then link two bracket with the Boolean operator and. So it becomes like this. So these two brackets are linked together with an and the capital letters. You can also see me putting a star here at the back of tocotrienol and tocopherols because there's a possibility of S at the back. So we do not want to miss that possibilities. You can also see me putting quotation mark for phrases vitamin E because I want the exact phrase to appear in my search. For phrases for bone mineral density, bone density, I also put a quotation mark because I want the exact phrase to appear in my search. Okay. Now you are ready to put, to put this into the search engine. So copy everything and put this into the search engine. For example, PubMed. I hope you're looking at the website right now. And I get 257 results. Okay, covering all the possible keywords for tocotrienol and all the possible keywords for bone mineral density. Okay, so you can see it covers tocotrienols, S or no S, vitamin E, osteoporosis, and things like that. If we go through again what happened by putting Boolean operator or, I only require any one of the keyword to appear, to be included in my search. We are putting bracket in the concept, in one concept, so that this concept, all the synonyms of this concept are being processed together. Okay, so first concept are processed together, second concept are processed together. and I link the two bracket with n because I need these two concepts to appear concurrently in my search item. Okay, they must appear concurrently. I don't want either one. I want both to appear together. That's why I put an n. If you go through your search, you can also use advanced search, because when you put a search here in the PubMed, usually the indication is all field. It's all automatically, it's all field. If you want more specific result to appear, I would suggest you to limit the search to title or abstract. So keyword. Limit the search to title abstract. This is from advanced search, and then start searching. So the result will be more specific, whilst you are getting a lot of unspecific hit. So result reduced to 199. What happens if you are using Scopus? If you are using Scopus, the default is article title, abstract, and keywords. If you want to standardize to use article title and abstract only, what you can do is first thing title, and then another field for abstract. Copy, paste the same search string. You get a bit more, 274 documents, because the indexing, the amount of journal that Scopus index is maybe bigger than PubMed. So you get a bit more results. The difference when you search for topic relating to medical science, the search number, the number of documents that you found in PubMed and Scopus shouldn't be manifold difference. I mean, just now when we search PubMed, we get 199, right? And then in Scopus, we get 247. So this maybe less than 1/4 differences. If there are manifold differences, let's say you get 100 in PubMed and 700 in Scopus, then something is wrong. Okay. I do not recommend using all field in Scopus because the unspecific hit that you are going to get will be a lot. That's why you get thousands and thousands of hit, and then you have to went through a very laborious screening process. So if you were to go on with Web of Science, you will be using the same search string, and then you can copy and paste into Web of Science. So the search string that you use for PubMed, Scopus, Web of Science should be the same. There is no problem using all the same search string for these three databases because the Boolean operators are common for all these three databases. However, you are going to get a lot less number in Web of Science because the amount of journal being indexed by Web of Science is even smaller. Okay, so you get less heat in Web of Science usually. However, between Scopus, between PubMed and Scopus, you shouldn't have multiple fold differences in terms of numbers of document found. If you find very huge differences, usually indicate something is wrong with the search string. Okay. So what about trend tracing? You can also read the previous review, a systematic review, to get some idea whether your number article that you found is comprehensive, is exhaustive as well. And I also suggest you, after you have screened all the articles that you want, maybe you have a dozen you want to include in your final review, read the studies in a chronological order so that you get a sense of the evolutions of the study field. Also, you will get the references, you have to look at the references being cited in the introductions and in the discussions to see whether you have missed out important references or not. Let's say you have encountered some references being cited by some of the relevant articles, but it's not included in your search result. You can add it back later, okay, as article added from reference tracing, but not from the databases search. Usually, these articles are being missed out because they are not indexed in those databases, or you didn't put a certain keyword that's relevant to that article. That's why you miss out. So it is always recommended that you search through the reference list of relevant article that you want to include in your review to identify any article that you miss out from your database search. Of course, as I mentioned to you, there are other sources of informations. For example, policy papers, GCP, guidelines, monograph thesis, project report, technical report, published data. But it is for clinical studies and for biomedical studies, it is quite uncommon for us to search these gray literature. Okay, so these are gray literature and need some effort to find from certain institutions or from certain databases. You might need to contact this agency, university libraries, and researcher to get gray literature. Unless topic that you are reviewing is pertaining to policies or GCPs, usually you are not required to search these databases, but you can also always put them as a limitation or review, saying that you do not search for PCs, for example, or any other grade issues. So there are some biases in the search that we cannot avoid. So in terms of search string, the entire search string, for example, should be pasted into your methods of your scoping review so that it can be replicated by other researchers. For example, in this article, effect of pipersamatosis on bone health and fracture, a scoping review, you can see that in visual search and article selection, we put the entire search string pipersamatosum and in bracket, this is the second concept, bone or superossous or blast or class or site. Okay, so if I'm interested reviewer, I can just copy this string and put into the four databases that I claim I searched, PubMed, Scopus, Google Scholar, also I said no Google Scholar, but the only reason we search Google Scholar in this case because there's a very limited article. And then you also have to mention the period of search. When do you perform the search? November 2021. it's very important for you to indicate the when have you performed the search, because you can imagine, you can foresee that during submission, it will be months after you have searched, right? So if the reviewer get a different number than yours, it is understood that this number are different because a certain month have passed from the crafting, from the searching to crafting of this article and then to submissions. Okay, so it's very important for you to indicate period search.